It's Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. Your day weather podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com. Also brought to you by WYDOT. Remember, when there's ice and snow, take it slow. It's going to be an active weather pattern into the new year, with the Pacific throwing us a lot of weather here over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster ride. And we're seeing that here over the last 5 to 7 days. If you look at temperatures where they were not very long ago, far below zero, and very mild conditions will be noted across the Intermountain West and the Western High Plains today. It's just a large Pacific air mass, which is certainly a lot warmer than an Arctic one, is overspreading the area, but so will be some gusty winds in many areas. Now, there's going to be a slug of this Pacific moisture developing later today through Wednesday that's going to bring snow to the mountains. This will be especially true west of the divide. The Continental Divide and points west. Later today, tonight, into Wednesday, we'll be getting snow in the high country, all of the major mountain ranges of the west. Some rain and snow showers will reach the plains later Wednesday, overnight Wednesday into early Thursday, especially down into Colorado. It doesn't look like a major front range system, but there is going to be a little bit of weather coming over the mountains onto the plains. The westerly flow continues to bring more Pacific energy and moisture. It's basically just a pipeline of moisture coming into the west, and that'll continue into the weekend. So the mountain areas are just going to be off and on snowing for several days in a row, not continuously, but off and on. Then a larger chunk of energy and moisture comes off the Pacific, and we may end up with, we don't know yet, but we may end up with a larger Pacific storm jumping the divide and kind of getting itself organized in the Sunday-Monday timeframe. So New Year's Day, Sunday into Monday, possibly some front range snow could be developing along with colder temperatures. We'll keep an eye on it. A lot of details to work out, but it goes without saying, it's going to be an active pattern. And as we mentioned over the last few days, we don't have to worry about bitter cold Arctic air, but these Pacific systems will be generating plenty of weather to be concerned about if traveling over the next 5 to 7 days. Sometimes automated cameras get amazing photos. This is from WYDOT. This is Elk Mountain that you're seeing here, the base of Elk Mountain along Interstate 80, east of Rawlins. You can see that the Elk Mountain area is shrouded in clouds over the mountains, but look at the cloud layer getting the sunrise above. This is from yesterday morning sunrise from WYDOT's web camera. So just a beautiful shot there. Now here's a animated satellite image from early this morning. You can see that big curl there off the coast of Washington and Oregon. That's one system that's pushing in right now. That's going to be a pretty big weather maker for the Pacific Northwest. And then you can see just this pipeline of moisture continuing to get fed in. And these are other low pressure systems. They're all over the place across the North Pacific right now, and they're just going to keep coming. A very, very strong jet stream wind driving across the Pacific, driving this energy and moisture into the West Coast. Over the next couple of weeks, a lot of precipitation, badly needed precipitation for California, and the mountain snowpack of the far west is just going to get clobbered with a lot of precipitation. Here you can see on the 500 millibar chart that the flow of weather basically is west to east with storms into it. Now, for those of you who have a question about what do all these colors mean, the colors represent temperature, basically. Now, the map I'm showing you is basically where the wind patterns and the storm patterns are at 18,000 feet. We call it the 500 millibar pattern. That's a level of pressure where we just tend to see a lot of structure in the atmosphere. It just helps us identify systems coming on through. The warmer looking colors are indeed warmer. So the warmest air at 18,000 feet would be here, and the coldest, as you would expect, is up here. So where you see a sharp gradient between the warmer and the colder colors is where you get more wind, is where you get more weather. Notice the low pressure systems tend to be on the boundary between the warmer and the cold. So when you see these shifting colors like this, just think of temperature is the best way to think about it, and it's the temperature at 18,000 feet. As we look at, though, speaking of temperature, these are the temperature anomalies by late this afternoon. So you can see the push of Pacific air there is just coming on in, warming us up. The cold continues to be from Florida, East Texas, all the way up into the Great Lakes and New England still. They continue to be very cold as they dig out, and we're having a nice warm-up. But that warmer air is going to be driving in plenty of Pacific moisture. This is by Thursday morning. That same Pacific wave that's up here now is moving through overnight tomorrow into Thursday morning. This is going to cause that mountain snow and maybe a little bit of snow and rain on the Front Range. Now, this is by Thursday afternoon and evening. You can see all the heavy rain in California, Washington, and Oregon. Then the snow's coming into the Intermountain West. There's going to be a little band of snow and rain that's going to come out across northeast Colorado and across Nebraska with that Pacific wave. Maybe clipping southeastern Wyoming, but you can see the Colorado Front Range, then east out into Nebraska here, could get a swath, and it's going to be a wet snow. It might even start as a little rain before it changes over to wet snow. So that system, overnight, late tomorrow into Thursday morning, will be a little bit of a weather maker east of the Divide, while west of the Divide continues to just be wet and active. And this is what the snowfall looks like. This is the snowfall forecast from today through Thursday afternoon. So you can see plenty of snow in the mountains, that moisture streaking out across the plains. And if we were to zoom in a little bit, a little closer, you can see the precipitation falling there as snow in the mountains, lots of snow in the Sierra Nevada there over the next 2 or 3 days. So that wave goes through. And basically what we do is we wait for the next wave. So this is by around noontime on Saturday. The westerly Pacific flow continues, and this just keeps driving moisture in. So we'll continue to have off and on snow in the mountains. And then this wave right here by noon Saturday is going to come into the Great Basin and perhaps intensify a bit. We call that lee-side cyclogenesis, where we end up getting a better organized low in southeastern Colorado. This is the moisture that falls from Thursday afternoon through Saturday afternoon. So you can see the moisture just keeps coming in. So more moisture for northern and central California, and more moisture just streaks into the interior west, producing more mountain snow. Then as we get into that Sunday night, Monday time frame, there's that lee side low possibly forming in southeast Colorado. Now, we're not 100% sure on the formation of this system and its intensity and its exact path. But what I want to do is just put a bug in your ear and say that if this scenario unfolds late Sunday into Monday, well, it's going to be a weather maker. It's going to be a Front Range, Colorado, southeastern Wyoming, western Nebraska snow event late Sunday into the early parts of Monday, along with some colder temperatures and certainly the threat of accumulating snow. Now, this system could end up more south, it could end up more north, it could end up being disorganized. But for holiday travel, for things going on late this weekend and into early next week, we have to keep an eye on it. And you can see this is the precipitation with this third system late Sunday into Monday. And you can see it just keeps coming. This is not cumulative. This is just what happens with the next wave. And there you can see the potential for Front Range of Wyoming, Colorado into Nebraska potential snow event late Sunday into Monday with the heavier precipitation along the west coast. And there you can see the trail of snow that may fall with that system. Stay tuned. It will be colder as well. Not brutally cold because it's a Pacific storm. There's no Arctic connection, but it'll be cold enough certainly that we're talking about icy roads and highways again. The cumulative 10-day precipitation forecast looks like this. And you can see we're talking 12, 14, 15 inches of liquid water equivalent for the Sierra Nevada. That's a lot of snow and very heavy precipitation coming in. Even Arizona is going to get wet, New Mexico as well. Look at Utah, look at Idaho. You're going to get a huge boost in the snowpack over the next 10 to 14 days. Have yourself a good Tuesday. We'll update you tomorrow.